So I wanted to speak quickly about the concept of commitment in a romantic relationship as it relates to being autistic. I was talking about this with another autistic person today. And let me start by saying that there was not a good model for me of commitment growing up. My mother and my dad split before I was born. My dad was married, I think 5 times, and twice to the same person who he's married to now. My mom married again after splitting with my dad, and then left him, and they divorced when I was about 12. So not a lot of stability there. What I have always clung to as an important part of understanding commitment is my great-grandparents. They were farmers in Oklahoma. They were married for 74 years before my great-grandfather died. And they went through a lot together. They went through the Great Depression. They went through the Dust Bowl. They had to move to California after the Dust Bowl because I think my grandfather was having a hard time breathing for good reason. They had 2 kids, my grandmother and my granduncle, and they lost both of their kids. My grandmother died when I was about 5, and my granduncle died, I can't remember if it was before or after, but close to around the same age, both of cancer. They had 19 great-grandkids together. And so they became, when I was very young, they became my model for what commitment looks like. And, you guys know I'm going through another breakup right now, not the first time with this person. And what I've, really been thinking about is, what is commitment? I mean, for the last 3 years with this person, I instantly felt a really, really deep love connection, which I was explaining this to my friend, I used that deep love connection as my anchor. So, and then I used my model of my great-grandparents as part of my anchor as well. And if you imagine us as 2 people on a boat on the water, with our anchor in the ground, our anchor of love, our anchor of commitment, for me, that anchor served as a grounding point for times that I was really frustrated or wanted to leave or felt betrayed or had all my feelings come up, which are all very normal feelings to have in a marriage. Marriage is not easy. Anyway, that anchor helped me stay grounded. No matter how bumpy the seas got, it helped me focus and remind myself that this was a person who I truly loved unconditionally and still do, and always will. When I gave my marriage vows, I was taking on family, new family. And I'm autistic. I view the ocean waves, the turmoil of marriage as being very emotionally based. And I view that anchor as helping tie the couple's ship to earth and grounding. And for me, earth and rock and trees and woods and land very much represents logic and truth and fact. So, my friend was surprised by this description because she had never really thought of an anchor in that way. To her, an anchor was something that held you down. And that's actually kind of the point. To me, my unconditional love for another human being and my sense of commitment to our marriage was indeed holding me down. It was holding me down to logic and fact. So no matter, like I said, no matter how bumpy the seas got, no matter how much the emotions came into things, that love to me was what kept me solid. To me, love is more than just an emotion. It's a truth. It's a truth that you are willing and want to share space with another human being. All the waves and bad seas and storms can be worked through if 2 people stay on the boat and stay committed to keeping that anchor down and focus on the fact that they are grounded in love. And there's, my spouse is NT. Mostly. She's got some sensory issues and maybe some other stuff, but I don't think she's autistic because I think that in many ways she's much more socially talented than I am. But my point is that I wonder sometimes if being autistic, I've heard from a therapist, the one that diagnosed me, that autistic people are extremely loyal. And if a relationship is going to be broken up, it usually has to be done by the other party. And I wonder if part of why we are so loyal and able to stay, dare I say, committed and focus on the love is because we don't get wrapped up into the emotions as much, and we're more able to compartmentalize the good experiences and the bad experiences and then refer to those two boxes in a equal way. There's a lot of studies that show that human beings typically process painful experiences at a much higher volume and have a much higher memory of them than they do positive experiences. But I don't feel subject to that. My childhood sucked in a lot of ways, but I can still remember a lot of really good things about it. And while I can't ignore the things that sucked because they affect me today and I have to go to therapy for it, it's nice to be able to look at the good memories too. And I don't think that's typical. I think that there might be something to the concept that autistic people can hash out, the stuff that goes on in the good box in the storage warehouse of the brain and the stuff that goes in the bad box, and choose to go look at one box or the other and focus on one box or the other, where maybe people who aren't autistic can't do that. And they get wrapped up in the sea of feelings and subject to their body's natural response to remember pain more than pleasure. I feel like I'm kind of babbling here, but I guess I just wanted to bring this out and see what you guys think. Subscribe to my channel because I like commentary and throw a comment below on what you think about this concept. There's a lot here, so just comment on whatever resonates for you. And thanks for being part of the pack.